let's compare an illuminated AV switch like this to a non-illuminated AV switch like this or like that. So it's a very common thing for you to be able to select whether you have an illuminated AV switch or not when you're purchasing a saber from a variety of the saber companies. And so you might be wondering, which one should I get? Which one will I like best? Well, I don't know for sure, but I do know that a lot of people think the illuminated AV switch is pretty cool. So sometimes it'll cost a few bucks extra, but a lot of people seem to think it's worth it because something about the illuminated AV switch is, well, especially if you get the same color as the LED, you have kind of another light source, albeit a small one, that ties in with the LED of the blade. So like if I have the blade installed, it'll be a little more clear, but I have the blue blade here. In this saber hilt I have some of the light coming out here, and also the light of the AV switch. They all kind of tie together, so that's very attractive design. Now sometimes people will select a different color for their illuminated AV switch from their LED. And so, you could do that, say, if you have two favorite colors, you could make your other favorite color the AV switch. Or if there's a sports team that you like, one color from the sports team could be the LED, the other could be the illuminated AV switch. You have a few different options. Or even if you want to get really poetic, like if you're blue, you're like a Jedi, but you want like a little bit of a hint of Sith, then you could have maybe a red AV switch. So I don't know, you can use your imagination, take it wherever you want to with that coloring, but at the same time that could kind of expose you possibly to more analysis paralysis, like which AV switch, which illuminated color should I choose? Because especially if you're choosing a different color from the LED, you may wonder, like, will I really be happy with that other color that I select too? So that's something that might be more of a nail biter, wondering if your color, you'll be happy with how the color of the AV switch, the illuminated AV switch, matches your LED. So something to think about. If you're thinking about which is more canon, which, people are always thinking kind of like that, I mean, it's going to be more canon to have just the regular AV switch. I'm not aware of any of the films or media incorporating a switch like this. So maybe there is. If you know of something like that, please let me know in the comments section. But, I mean, it still has the cool factor, right? So that's usually enough for a lot of people to go this route. If you are looking at the non-illuminated AV switches, you will sometimes have a color choice like this. So here's a black one and here's a metallic one. It seems like the metallic is often a bit more common. There are some other colors that can be available as well, but yeah, you have to consider how it'll look on the hilt. Like in the case of this black one, the black button AV switch really blends in with the hilt, so that could either be like a big positive for you that it blends in, or it could be kind of a negative that it gets lost in the hilt. So that can happen. Or like in this case, you could have gotten a metallic AV switch instead, and that would have really popped. So yeah, if you wanted the button to stand out, that probably would have been a better choice. So if you are choosing between a non-illuminated and an illuminated AV switch from Ultra Sabers specifically, you can only get the illuminated ones with their sound sabers. So you're kind of out of luck with the stunt sabers, the no sound sabers. You can only get the non-illuminated switches. So yeah, I don't know, that's just their policy. I don't see why it necessarily has to be that way, but they make the choice to do that. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts on illuminated AV switches versus non. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, but I do think these are pretty cool, and that seems to be very common perception that the illuminated switches are pretty cool. At the same time, I don't think you'll be totally disappointed if you get a non-illuminated AV switch. Like, I don't think about it every day. Like, if I'm using the Kyber light, I'm not like, really mopey about like how it's not illuminated. So you just kind of do grow accustomed to whatever you have too. So that's something as well, for whatever that's worth. But anyway, that's just the switches, the AV switches, illuminated ones and non.